Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a video for you today. The pro motocross season is officially over as of this past weekend. Finished up the series at Ironman. It was a really great day. Should be videos potentially out already, if not coming out very soon on the weekend. Up and down year, super gnarly field. Overall, pretty happy with my performances, and this feels really good to put my name in the field with all those gnarly guys. Definitely pretty proud of myself for that one. But it is officially the off season, and for the first time in the last couple of years, I'm not injured going into the off season, so I can actually enjoy the beautiful fall weather that we're gonna have here in Michigan. Some of my all-time favorite events and races take place in the fall. I'm gonna be racing the Ironman GNCC, as well as Red Bull's Day in the Dirt out east. And I have the perfect machine to race those on, and it's right behind me. My 2019 KTM 250 SX 2-stroke. This machine has been a long time coming. I bought this thing like 2.5 years ago, and it's been sitting in pieces in the corner of the race shop ever since then. It just really was not a priority for the last couple of years. Right when I bought it, my pro racing sort of started taking off. I started to get a lot faster, getting good results. And so all of my focus had been on the race 450s and just becoming the best racer that I could become. And then whenever the off seasons hit, I mean, last year I had shoulder surgery, the year before that, had some knee injuries, and just never really got to enjoy my off season bike, because that's kind of what this thing is. It's my off season bike. But this time I'm healthy and I'm ready to enjoy it. I've ridden it one single time since putting it together while my gas was in the shop being fixed, and it runs pretty good, but it definitely has some fine tuning that I need to take care of. And that is going to be the subject of today's video. As you guys know, I have the brand new Lectron Billetron 38 Pro Series carburetor on this bike. She's hiding in there all purdy like. They even engraved a little JW841 logo on there for me, so really sick unit. They come pretty well set up from the boys over at Lectron, but of course they can't take into account all the little modifications that I've done to this thing. It has an FMF pipe on it, a fat head racing head. I'm running Mo2 oil in 93 pump fuel. They can't take into effect absolutely every last thing that I've done to it, and as a result it does need a little bit of fine tuning, which I found out when I rode it. I was getting some detonation, some kind of idle hang, pretty standard stuff. It's gonna be tunable. I just need to go out and do the tuning now. Luckily, Lectron has some really good tuning guides on their website, which I will link in the description, and that's what I'm going to be following in this video. And I'll just kind of walk you guys through the process of dialing in the Lectron 38 Pro Series. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Lectron carburetors, what makes them so unique is that instead of using a traditional needle like a regular carburetor, it uses a metering rod. I'm not an engineer, but I'll do my best to show you what that means. So pretend this is the metering rod. If we are looking at it from a cross section like this, the metering rod is shaped sort of like a D. It has a flat side on the back. So as the air enters the carburetor, it splits around the metering rod like so, and that creates this area of negative pressure behind the metering rod. So from the side, air is coming in this way, splitting around it, carrying on into the engine, and that creates that negative pressure here. And then you have the bowl underneath full of fuel, and that negative pressure pulls fuel up out of the bowl, and that mixes with the air and sends that into the engine as well. Look, I'm not claiming to be a scientist or Picasso. Actually, scratch that. I forgot I literally am a scientist. And what that means is that as the air density changes, whether that's due to temperature or elevation, that will change the suction and the amount of fuel that gets sucked up and sent into the engine. So once you dial the carbon for the settings that you are in, today it's pretty warm. I'm at basically sea level. It's going to sort of compensate no matter where I go or what temperature or what elevation I'm at. It'll sort of automatically tune itself for the different temperatures or elevation. You can ride this thing from sea level up to like 10,000 feet of elevation and not have to adjust it. I can pull it out in the dead of winter or the hottest part of the summer and not have to adjust it. And for someone like me who doesn't have a whole lot of experience with two-strokes, and I'm a racer, I like to ride these things. I don't necessarily love to be working on them constantly and adjusting them. Lectron is perfect for me. Now, what's cool about the 38 Pro Series as opposed to the other Lectrons is you have two adjustment screws on the side of the carburetor. So the screw on the bottom here is the torque jet, This is the idle adjuster screw, and then the one up here, that is the power jet adjuster screw. As the names would suggest, the torque jet on the bottom adjusts from 50% throttle, and then the power jet handles from 50% on up to 100%. They claim the metering rod is really only to adjust the idle. Kind of convenient, the torque jet is located on the bottom, torque, bottom end, bottom adjuster, power jet, top end, top adjuster. Kind of nice how that worked out. They sent me mine with the metering rod and the idle screw already adjusted well. It idles really well, which I'll show you here in a minute, but I think it's running pretty lean. So once we get to the track and I'm riding it around, I'll show you guys the noises that I've been hearing. It's definitely detonating, so I'm probably gonna have to back out on the power and the torque jet, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's go start it up and see how it idles in the driveway. So there we have it. She runs pretty good, at least just putzing around the yard. But yeah, she definitely has some issues when we get her up to speed out on the track. So what do you say we go head to the track and get this thing fully dialed in so she is ready to shred at the events that we have planned for it this fall. Let's go do it.
Oh! Is this a new camera?
Yeah, it's real nice.
The cream hole.
Thanks, Nikki. poor thing was beautiful a minute ago. Oh well. Well, slow as it is, it's pretty gosh darn fun. Yeah, I thought I remembered it pinging and stuff when I was really high up in the throttle, but actually it seems like it's when it's under a heavy load, but I'm only like quarter throttle. So I think that actually is the torque jet that I need to richen up quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It is pinging pretty bad, so I'm just gonna go right to like a half turn. They recommend quarter turns, but I feel like this thing's detonating pretty bad. So we'll just grab our flat blade and do it. So bottom one's the torque jet, and we wanna go out half a turn. Beautiful. We'll go give that a try. If that doesn't do it, I'll go maybe a quarter turn more. So then maybe I'll try richening up the power jet as well and see if that helps out. But yeah, half a turn on the torque jet. Let's go give that a go. All right. Oh! So no detonation that time, zero pinging, but it did feel a little bit blurby in some areas. So I actually went an eighth of a turn back in, or no, I'm sorry, a quarter of a turn back in. So let's go see how that does. I thought a quarter of a turn wouldn't do a whole lot, but you know, the Lectron boys say that it does, and it turns out they know what they're talking about. So from bone stock, we are quarter turn out on the torque jet. So a quarter turn richer. And I think this is going to be the ticket, but we will go find out, won't we?
Oh, okay, 110. So I am on the bottom end of the scale, 103 to 110. What do you run, say, on a KTM on that one?
Like 104, 105. Out here, you could run a little more, 106, 107.
Okay.
Keep a little weight off the front end. You ready to smoke, Kale?
2 of them.
Let's go smoke. Oh, and we also adjusted sag for the first time. I was at over like 125 sag, so this should be much nicer. This is still detonating, I'll go 1/8 turn back out, and I think that that'll end up being absolutely perfect, but we'll go see. If I don't hear any detonating, I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. Okay, so I heard it already. Quarter turn. Actually, no. All right. So I think I really hit the sweet spot that last one. Pretty much no detonating anymore. Maybe just like 1 or 2 times I heard just a little tiny bit, like towards the end of the session when the bike was getting hot. So maybe on that torque jet on the bottom, I need to go like an 1/8 turn more. That would put me at 1/8 past 1 1/4, which I think on the tuning guide it says if you have to go more than 1 1/4, you might need a different metering rod. So maybe that's something I could potentially look into, but it's not like I'm at 2 turns out or something, so it's not like I'm way out of whack. I think 1 1/4 turn is probably reasonable. And then I think that's gonna be the torque jet all figured out and all good to rip. But the hanging revs pretty much fixed itself, and that's what the tuning guide said that it would as I richen that bottom jet. It said the hanging revs should go away, and it did. Power feels pretty good. I don't have a whole lot of experience with 252 strokes, so maybe I'm gonna have to ride a couple buddies, but I did have Kale jump on it. He said the bottom end feels pretty much just as good as his bike, but maybe it's lacking a little bit on top. And I think that's where going back in that 8th turn on the power jet will probably get me some more top end back into it. And I think I could go even a little bit more lean on the top because I'm really not experiencing any issues on the top end. So yeah, I think an 1/8 richer on bottom and an 1/8 leaner on top, and we are going to be perfectly in the sweet spot. That is like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. First time I rode this, I did not read the tuning guide at all, and I was trying to just spin things, and the detonation wasn't going away at all, and I was like feeling kind of helpless, like I didn't really know what to do. Turns out just reading the tuning guide on their website is super helpful, and within 1 session I had pretty much fixed the issue. So rad of Lectron to provide that. Helps out the 2-stroke illiterate folk like myself, and things running really, really good. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt like I was absolutely flying on that thing today. So I'm super excited to get this out when the track conditions are primo, now that it's tuned correctly, and definitely have some suspension fine tuning, or not fine tuning, just suspension massive tuning to do before it's ready for any sort of racing. But that's what we have to look forward to this fall. Lots more 2-stroke content to come, and if you guys have any recommendations of must-have upgrades for a 252 stroke, specifically a KTM, let me know, because I'm all ears. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm assuming you probably did, because you guys have been begging for more 2-stroke content. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. We will catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out. It just has no bottom and also no top.
Wait, get this? No mid either.
Yeah. No, the mid hits like a f***ing brick. It's like, whoa!
Cream it down my cram hole.
Cram it up my cream hole, dude.